Day 6, I think we've made some progress from obviously day 1 of practice, especially with all the young guys. I see progress in the offensive line. Still very young, still a long way to go, but guys are competing and fighting, and I really like the way they're fighting and working every day in practice. I think our quarterback situation, though young, man, I just love those guys, the way they compete and where they come out and work every day. It's refreshing to come out here and work with guys who want to get better and want to compete. Defensively, we've got a couple guys nicked up a little bit. Samuel Ward with an ankle, but he should be back by Monday. Jordan Eastland has got an ankle. He's been practicing, but he's not 100%. We're able to get Elijah King out a little bit, do a little bit of work, so that's good. Eric Luna's been out there doing some work, so it's good to get those two older guys back out there to the practice field. So we just keep pushing. We take the day off tomorrow, Sunday, and then come back Monday. Monday's the last week of school, so try to get them through that. And that's been I've been really proud of the kids this year. Again, one of the things that we've gotten better at is our kids have worked through the mental part of school and football better this year than we did a year ago. So I've been real impressed with that with our players. So I'll open up for questions.
Knowing you return a lot of the production you had on defense from last year, are they just naturally, as far as learning and things like that, are they a little bit ahead of the offense as expected? Or?
Yeah, they've been here a year. Most of those guys played in games last year and got their nose bloodied and all that. So they understand the calls. The great thing about the NCAA, they allow you to do a little bit of work in the summer with them, as far as meetings and that kind of stuff. So you get that part of it. The freshmen have done a good job of using that summertime to learn the groundwork of the defensive scheme. So I've been impressed with what those guys are doing. Are we executing it the way we want to? No, but we probably got in 75-80% of our package on defense already in 6 days. So now it's about learning the nuances of it and the fine-tuning of it and the checks and communication and all that. But, yeah, that group should be way ahead of our offense.
With new offensive coordinator, how do you feel that the offense is kind of taken to his new schemes?
There's really not a new scheme other than an emphasis of doing things the right way. That's really what we got. It's not really a new scheme at all. This scheme we ran at Ohio State, and Brett Elliott ran this scheme at Utah back when he played for Coach Urban Meyer. So it's the same offense. It's nothing different. All we're doing is trying to emphasize a few things better. And of all the young coaches that I've worked with, Zach Core is really good at the details of working on the little things and getting them focused on, here's what we're going to get better at today. And you may see some things not get better, but that's not what we're working on. We're working on something else. So we have to know each day, and I think our players are starting to understand, here's what we need to get better at today. And I think he's done a good job with that.
Coach, I had a chance this morning to look at the offensive line position group, and Coach Mateo seems like he's a real technical-oriented guy, footwork, striking, hand position.
Yeah, it's all fundamentals. And the thing that you get is you get a bunch of young kids, and we've got some really good, some guys that are a little bit older, not necessarily old, but a little bit older. And now those guys are buying into his coaching and teaching and technique and those things that are important to when you get in the battle. When you get in the days when it's 100 degrees out there, you got to go back to your fundamentals. And I think that's what Coach Mateus is getting our kids to understand in that offensive line.
You mentioned the quarterbacks, so they're so young out there. What can you tell us specifically about them, about Gibson, about Nelson, about Willie Jones? Like, how are they looking? Look, good arm, reading the defense.
We've got 4 of them. So we've got Willie Jones, who I think is talented as any quarterback physically that will be in our league. He'll be as talented and knowledge-wise and all that. He's still got a long way to go, but he's got a strong arm. He's got something about him. He was on a state runner-up 4x1 team or 4x2 team, a state championship basketball team. He even played some baseball. He even played like center field baseball. Last guy I coached that did all that is a guy named Patrick Surtain, who played like 15 years in the NFL. So he's really, really talented. It's a long way to go, boy, but he's doing some really nice stuff. I mean, the ball comes off his hand really, really, really fast and really strong. So like him, Jalen Gibson, I think is got, that leadership qualities about him. He's getting better every day. He's still, trying to progress and calling the play from the signal to the huddle and to the line of scrimmage. But each day he's getting better. Jalen Nelson, obviously talented, could play a lot of different spots, may play some other spots for us. But he's doing a good job. Ball comes off his arm. The concerns you worry about Jalen is he's not very tall, and we had that issue with, 2 springs ago with a guy here. That has to run around to see so he can throw, and sometimes that gets hard in football. And then Keyshawn Kelly, who is recovering a little bit he had shoulder surgery in the offseason, so we're really taking our time with him, not getting him throwing the ball very much, but he's got a live arm, very athletic. So I'm pleased with what I see from those guys. They all compete. They're all encouraging each other. I think they're all smart kids. Again, the best is yet to come with those guys. And again, I think I said this back in at media day, patience is what I'm learning to have, because we're going to need it with those guys.
You talked about the DBs, Coach, being the defense being ahead. What about when you look at corner? That's a really young position.
Yep.
At safety, you got some older guys. Who stood out at cornerback for you?
I've been real pleased with Kordell Rodgers at corner. Kordell's one of those guys, again, from Lufkin, played quarterback. He's the kind of guy you want to recruit to go play that position. You want to go recruit an athlete. Guy was a point guard on a basketball team, quarterback on a football team, very athletic, can do a lot of different things. He made a play the other night, interception the other night. It was just natural for him to go up and get the ball, and did some real good things. And he's got that, that stuff you got to have at corner. Go get beat. All right, okay, I'm going to go play the next play and go make a play. And he's got that about him. Keyshawn Roach is coming along. He's very talented, good feet. The part of his game that's got to come on with this the mental part, understanding what the schemes are and what we do. Those 2 guys have really, really been impressive at corner. Then obviously we got Deshaun Waddy and Jordan Easterling. Andrew and Nicky has done some good things. Didn't have a particularly good practice today. So we've got 5 guys. JT Taylor's been down with an ankle. So he's not going to be out there for a while. Hopefully get him back by the start of the season. May not be till week 2. But I feel like we'll be able to gain some depth at that corner spot that we didn't have a year ago.
I know kick return, punt return was a concern for you in spring. Just a weekend, obviously, but what are you seeing from those guys? The guys
we've caught more balls in specialists than we caught all last year in real games. I think we muffed 10 balls last year. Which, somebody told me that Brendan, whatever his name, that was here last year was really good. He dropped about 4 balls in games last year. That's not very good to me. So we were not very good at catching the ball last year. So it's something that we made a big emphasis. We have better athletes now that can catch the ball back there. In practice, you can notice it. I notice it. Just guys being able to adjust and catch the ball better. So
Hidden yardage.
Yeah, all the hidden yardage, the stuff that matters. And so we're there's no guy back there right now that's ready to take a job, but it's just good to look back there and see guys catching it instead of the ball hitting the ground all the time.
You're talking about how young the corners were, but the safeties, you kind of have some elder statesmen, if you will. Quinn Tiggs, A.J. Krotzy, we saw some of them in the spring.
Yep.
How do you think the safety position's coming along? Those older guys kind of help out the whole defensive backfield, corners included?
Well, if you think about it, A.J. had a spring back there. He was never a DB, so he's still considered young. Quinn Tiggs was a junior college player that played some last year for us. Didn't start all the time, but played some last year for us. They're old by age, but they're not old by experience in our defense. That's the way I look at it. I don't look by old by age. I look by experience in your defense. So, Stephon Johnson's the guy that, has played some. Quinn Tiggs has played some. Those are the guys that have played in the game for us. Dilla Rosemont's played some. Those 3 guys. But we need to bring on those 2 young guys. We need to bring on Josh Newman and Preston Demery. Those 2 guys are going to be factors for us this year in the secondary.
Coach, you seem excited.
Yeah, man, I'm jacked. I just love being around these young kids. It's fun to go eat lunch with them and dinner with them. It's fun to go sit down at the table with them and laugh and giggle and have all that. I didn't do that last year, because I didn't know what the motives were with some of our guys on our team. So I like being around guys that love the game of football. I love being around those kind of guys. All right? Good?
Appreciate you.